and welcome to this month's EmLive. This month, nosebleeds and hypertension. Alright, so I had this case where I had this guy who had a bad nosebleed. It was bleeding and bleeding, bleeding. Long story short, I couldn't stop it. He was very hypertensive, stayed hypertensive through his whole ED stay when I was seeing him. The nurse came to me, tells me the guy's blood pressure is really high. Do I want to do anything about it? I was always taught that high blood pressure isn't the cause of nosebleeds or epistaxis. It can be associated with epistaxis just like any other anxiety-provoking condition, but that you're not supposed to treat the hypertension, you treat the nosebleed. So I said, yes, we're just going to watch him and keep an eye on him, control the bleeding. He's probably very anxious. So he stays very hypertensive throughout his stay. Long story short, again, I can't stop the bleeding. He keeps bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. He has normal coagulation tests. His hemoglobin's okay, but he keeps bleeding, even with packing. And so I end up calling ENT, who very kindly comes in very quickly. And the ENT can't stop the bleeding. So then the ENT doctor tells me something very interesting. He says, we need to bring down the blood pressure, to which I say, we don't know his baseline. He's probably very anxious. We can overshoot easily in this situation. It can be dangerous. We don't generally do that. But then he said something that kind of threw me a little bit. And he said, but if we don't bring down the blood pressure, I won't be able to stop the bleeding. I need the blood pressure brought down so I can stop the bleeding. So here I am. I've got my consultant expert telling me that if I don't bring down the blood pressure,